I think Farooq Haider is playing in the hands of Nawaz Sharif, and he's using the same narrative as Modi, the same narrative that is anti-state, the same narrative that's going to incite hate against the Pakistan's ideology and against the Pakistan army, and that could make the freedom struggle of Kashmir extremely impossible to continue. My concern is that as India is escalating violence and aggression and terrorism against the Kashmiris in the Indian occupied Kashmir, Farooq Haider is playing in the hands of Pakistan's enemies and traitors and currently inciting hatred, currently inciting division amongst the Kashmiri people that's going to compromise the entire freedom struggle of Kashmiris. We have to stay united. We have to stay as one. Pakistan and Kashmir are the same. Kashmir and Pakistan are the same. We are the same people. I am Kashmiri. Kashmiris are me. There cannot be a division. There cannot be separatism. There cannot be hate. There cannot be doubts. There cannot be an ideology that works well for our enemies who are trying to divide us. And Farooq Haider must resign. Farooq Haider must be forced to give up his position as the PM of Azad Jammu Kashmir, because with him on board, we can never achieve true freedom of the Kashmiri people. He's biased, he's prejudiced, he is tunnel visioned, he is a hate speaker, he is more faithful to Nawaz Sharif and his narrative than he is to the ideology of Kashmiri people, than to the ideology of Pakistan, which is the ideology of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. We are pearls of the same string. If this string is broken today, as is being attempted by Farooq Haider, we are going to lose it all. Kashmir is going to go, Balochistan is going to go, KPK is going to go, Sindh is going to go, and eventually Punjab is going to go. Everything is going to break up. This is very dangerous what Farooq Haider is doing. He's sitting in a powerful position. He's acting in the hands of the traitors. He's trying to appease Nawaz Sharif. He's trying to secure his power, but he's doing it at the cost of the freedom struggle of 12 million Kashmiri people. His separatism, his self-vested interests are above the most important priority, that is to the Kashmiris, to fight the oppression imposed upon them by Modi, by RSS, to fight against the terrorism of RSS. We cannot afford division. We cannot afford doubts. We cannot afford hate against our soldiers who are fighting for the liberation of Kashmir on the ground, who are taking the bullets on their chests against the oppressive regime of Indian occupied Kashmir. He has spit on the face of the martyrs of Pakistan army by saying that they will be the same as Hindustan, when it is the Pakistan army that is the only thing that is standing in between the current independence and liberation status of Azad Jammu Kashmir and the oppressive regime of Modi. Today, if Pakistan army leaves its place on the line of control, Modi will take 2 minutes to occupy Azad Jammu Kashmir. So how dare Farooq Haider spit on the face of our martyrs? How dare Farooq Haider underestimate the sacrifices of the soldiers of Pakistan army who lose their lives every day at the line of control? The day they leave Azad Jammu Kashmir, there will be no more Azad Jammu Kashmir. That Azad Jammu Kashmir will become the Kashmir of Modi, that Azad Jammu Kashmir will become the Kashmir of RSS, that Azad Jammu Kashmir will become the den of terrorism of RSS, Hindutva ideology. So it is my demand from the Pakistan government, it is my demand from the people of Kashmir to force Farooq Haider to resign. We cannot win this war when we have traitors like Farooq Haider ruling Azad Jammu Kashmir, inciting hate. We cannot win this war. We will lose this war if we have traitors who are stabbing us in the back of our Pakistani soldiers who are fighting for the liberation, who are fighting for the freedom of the Kashmiri people. Kashmiri people are us. Kashmir is our jugular vein. We have hemorrhaged hundreds of thousands of people of Pakistan for the liberation, for the independence, for the freedom of Kashmiris for years and years and years. 73 years of struggle of Kashmiris is intertwined with the struggle of Pakistani people, because Kashmir banega nahi Pakistan, Kashmir hai Pakistan. I want the slogan to be changed, because after the 5th August forceful annexation of Indian occupied Kashmir, we do not have the choice of plebiscite anymore. We have lost the choice of the UN mediated plebiscite. That is not possible. India is converting Kashmir into Palestine. Today, most of the Palestinians have left Palestine because most of the valley is occupied, controlled, under siege by the Israeli forces. They don't have any autonomy, they don't have any sovereignty, and their numbers are going down and down. And today, if there is a vote of self-determination, they will lose large amounts of territories to Israel. This is where India is taking us, in the Indian occupied Kashmir. They have changed the demography of Kashmir, and they have actors like Farooq Haider who are inciting hate, who are inciting division, who are planting doubts against the sincerity of Pakistanis and Pakistan army, who are going to make us lose any war if we ever engage, which we will. Our army is preparing. I know our people are already on the ground. Our army is preparing. Our army is ready to go inside and give these bastards one hell of a life, one hell of a time. But our army cannot do that till Farooq Haider resigns. I request the people of Kashmir to ask Farooq Haider to resign and have a pro-Pakistani regime that is sincere and loyal to the ideology of Kashmiris, the ideology of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, the ideology of unity, the ideology of faith that has connected us for the last 7 decades. I request the people of Kashmir to get rid of Farooq Haider. We cannot go to Ghazwa-e-Hind when we have traitors ready to stab us in our backs, sitting in powerhouses of Azad Jammu Kashmir. India has already planted doubts. India has already planted division. India has already planted hate through these puppet actors who only care about the money, the funds, the corruption, and they will only be patronizing those corrupt people like Nawaz Sharif or Bilawal Bhutto or Assasis Zardari, who will be tolerant to their corruption. They will not be loyal ever to the ideology of Kashmir, which is synonymous with the ideology of Pakistan, because we are one. We have always been one. They have tried to divide us. They have tried to breed hate and contempt amongst us. But we have to beat it all. And we have to beat it all because this is Ghazwa-e-Hind we are talking about. This is the war of the worlds. This is the beginning of World War III we are talking about. Our Prophet, peace be upon him, gave us the blessings of victory in this Ghazwa-e-Hind, and this is the time to engage in it. But we have to get rid of the traitors first. We cannot afford our traitors to stab us into our backs as we have our soldiers engage into combat battle with those Indian terrorist bastards. So today, I request my dear Kashmiri brothers and sisters, my children, please bear with me, listen to me. I've been fighting for you for years now, and I don't like the vibes coming out of your Prime Minister Farooq Haider. He is not with you. He is only with his power. He is only with the Indian puppets sitting in London. Maryam Nawaz says that her dad would have already conquered Kashmir by now. I ask Maryam Nawaz, if your dad is so sincere with Kashmir, how come Nawaz Sharif has not done a single effort on behalf of the Kashmiri people, practical effort on behalf of the Kashmiri people, while he's sitting in London? All he's doing, all he's engaged his entire political machinery to do is to save his butt. He has not made a single effort sitting in London to talk to the British Parliament, to talk to the British human rights organizations, to go and protest for the Kashmiri people. He has done nothing since he's been in London, practically for the Kashmiri people. But he is politically cashing the noble, the honorable cause of Kashmir to save his corruption, and he has contaminated the struggle of Kashmir with bugs, with bacteria, with viruses like Farooq Haider. And it is our duty that before we go for Ghazwa-e-Hind, we get rid of these viruses, we get rid of these bacteria, we get rid of these bugs, so that we can win. And inshallah, we will win. But before we do that, we have to do this. That's all I have to say. Allah Hafiz.